So once again, good morning, guys. So today we are going to talk about the FSMO roles. So you are already aware of that the FSMO roles are the very important roles we will have in the Active Directory environment, and there are 5 FSMO roles within the AD, forest, and the domain. Okay, and out of 5 FSMO roles, the distribution of the FSMO roles are like the two are from forest level and the remaining three are from the domain level. Imagine you have a new forest. Say, for example, when we consider google.com, if you create your very first domain like google.com, the very first domain controller will have all the 5 FSMO roles in the same domain controller. But when you create an additional domain or a child domain, okay, say for example you have google.com at the parent level and you will create one more domain called india.google.com, a child domain. When you check the FSMO roles, you will see again 5 FSMO roles, but 2 FSMO roles you will see from the google.com because Google is the forest, and the new child domain is India, and within India domain controller you will see 3 domain wide roles. You can see here you have in this picture, if you see, okay, see if you see at the forest level, imagine I have created a domain called google.com. Okay, it is google.com, and the very first domain controller name is dc01. So when you check the FSMO role, you will see all the 5 FSMO role here only. 5 FSMO will be seen in the DC01 only. Okay. But when you add a child domain called india.google.com, imagine this is your india.google.com. This the level 1 domain is there now. This one is your india.google.com. And maybe the domain controller name is cdc01, child domain 01 dot india dot google dot com, india dot google dot com. So when you check the FSM roles in the india.google.com, you log into the cdc01.india.google.com, and there you run the query called uh, FSM query if you run, okay, there you will see two roles, the schema master and the domain naming master. These two will be coming from the forest, and the PDC emulator, RID master, and infrastructure master will be coming from the india.google.com. So likewise, if you create another domain, second child domain, maybe uk.google.com, and if you create, maybe it is your cdc02, child domain controller 02.in uk.google.com, there if you check, you can see the same schema master and the domain naming master, they will be coming from here. Okay, and domain wide roles, these are coming from the same cdc uk.google.com. Okay, this is how the FSMO roles are distributed. Okay, I will show you that when I create a child domain, I will show you that. Okay, but now for your understanding, since I'm talking about the FSMO roles, this should be your understanding. Okay, so you should know that there are 5 FSMO roles in the Active Directory. The distribution happens, two are from the forest and three are from the domain wide roles. If you have a single domain or a single forest, then you don't need to worry. If you have a single domain like google.com, you don't need to worry. All the 5 FSMO roles are there in the same domain, and that itself is a forest. When you have single forest multi-domain, okay, one forest is there like google.com or tata.com, Under that, you have multiple other business entities or the domains like motors.tata.com, steels.tata.com, softwares.tata.com. Then the distribution of the FSM roles are two from the forest, three from the domain wide role. Okay, so that's about the FSMO distribution. Any question here? I'll take it as silence, I'll take it as no. So let me move on to the next slide. Okay. So as I told you, there are 5 FSMO roles and 2 are from the forest. Which are the 2 from the forest? The first one is schema master and the second one is domain naming master. And what is the purpose and importance of both the or any of the FSMO roles? You can see here. The schema master, it the purpose is to manage the changes of the AD schema. Okay, say for example, you have presently you have server 2016 and your management tells you server 2016 will be getting expired or out of support maybe in another 2 3 years. You need to plan for server 2022. Then what you will do, you will create a new server 2022 server operating system you will install, and within that you will install the active directory. But here both the schema versions are different. Server 2016 has got a different schema, 2022 has got a different schema. So what you have to do, you have to increase the schema level of 2016 to 2022. Okay, that time the schema master is useful. So in order to change the schema versions, the schema master will be useful, and the schema is rarely modified. Whenever there is an migration or whenever there is a upgradation, only during that cases the schema master will be useful. Okay, and the importance is it ensures the schema is consistent across the forest. Okay, and the next one is domain naming master. This domain naming master is very important because the purpose of the domain naming master is to make sure if you are adding any new domain or if you are decommissioning any existing domain, this domain naming master should be available. Okay, and these both are not commonly used. Even if you shut down schema master or even if you shut down domain naming master, for the day-to-day AD operations, you will not see any issues. They only require schema master is required only when you upgrade the schema. The domain naming master is required only when you are adding a domain controller or a domain, removing a domain controller or a domain. That time only domain naming master will be useful. Otherwise, no, it is not that much critically important, but that should be there. Okay, and the next one is RID master. This RID master we will also call it as relative identifier master. Okay, see, you are already aware that computer does not understand the names. Even if you create a username sanju at the rate google.com, the active directory will not remember the name called Sanju. So what it will do, for Sanju, it will give a number called RID. Say for example, you will create a user. Say for example, you will create a user account here. So let me change the color. Imagine you create a user called Sanju. Okay. So AD will not remember Sanju, but what AD will do, it will assign one number called RID. So it can be like 1 1 2 2 3 3 4 4 5 5, some number it will give. So the RID master responsibility is to maintain an RID pool. So normally when you build a new domain controller, it will have 50,000 RIDs. Means it can accommodate 50k RIDs. So as and when you are creating number of users, as and when you are adding number of computer objects, as and when you are adding number of folders, printers, etc. So it will keep on adding one RID for each and every object that you are creating inside the Active Directory. So as and when the 50K is getting utilized, like 40K, 45K, then the RID master will do internal negotiation and it will increase the RID for next 50K. So what it will do, it will tell you have given me 50K of RID and I can see it is already 45K consumed. Would you please help me in increasing the pool to next 50K? Then what it will do, it will do an internal negotiation and it will make sure it has got enough RIDs. That is the RID master responsibility. So when you are creating any kind of objects, okay, the RID master should be there, because RID will ensure it has got enough RID pools available. Okay, and that RID will also call it as SIDs. Okay, so SID is nothing but security identifiers. So the Active Directory will identify any object using the SIDs only. Okay, that is the RID master important. Next one is PDC emulator. This PDC emulator we will also call it as primary domain controller emulator. So this primary domain controller emulator is the important role actually, because if you don't have a PDC for some time, even if the PDC is down for 1 hour or 2 hours, you will have immediate impact. Means your AD estate will start getting one or the other issues when you don't have a PDC emulator. So if somebody asks you which is the very important role, you can tell PDC emulator is very important role, because it is taking the responsibilities of handling the password synchronization. Say for example, there are two domain controllers. This is your in Bangalore location. There are two domain controller. When you log in, the authentication request goes to DC01 and you change your password. When you are authenticating with DC01, you change your password. Okay, and you went out, okay, for some break or something, and you came back again. That time you enter your username and password. Okay, or you may have configured the same password in the other, in your mobile phone, email configurations will be there. There are some other applications you might have used. That time, that device will send the authentication to this DC. So here, when the authentication happens at the office, when you change the password, authentication goes to DC01, but the mobile devices are connecting to DC02. Here, the whatever password you have changed in the DC01, if it is not replicated here, the user will get invalid password, because the new password is there with the DC01 and it is not reflected or replicated to DC02 yet, because your PDC is not available. So if that is the case, what happens, even though if you are entering new password and if the authentication goes to the DC02 and if the DC02 is not aware of the new password, because he is still having the old password only, because he has not got the update from the DC01 yet, because of PDC is not available, so he will get account lockout issues. He will tell my account is getting locked out. Why? Because there is no password synchronization happened between both the domain controller, and the DC02 is not aware of the new password. Then he will tell the password is incorrect. So you will try to enter thinking that you have changed the password just now. You are keep on entering the same password, and as soon when you are entering the same password, the authentication is not going to DC01. The authentication is going to DC02, and the DC02 is not aware of the password. Hence, he will lock out. He will lock your account. Then your account will get locked out. So PDC is responsible for handles the password changes. See here, it handles the password changes and manages the account lockout. Means it will treat that you have entered the password multiple times wrong password. It will ensure the security is on the top and it will lock your account. Okay, and one more important work what he will do, PDC will do, he will make sure the time in the entire forest is synchronized. Imagine you have around 10,000 computers at your office, and the time in all the 10,000 computers will be same. If the time is now Say for example, if the time is now 8 o'clock 33 minutes and 40 seconds, the same time will be there in the all the 10,000 computers. If the PDC is not be available, then you may see the time differences. If the time difference is there, again some other issues will come. What is that? The domain, when you change the password, if the time is not matching, the Active Directory will not take the latest thing. Imagine this has got 8 o'clock 10 minutes, and this has got 8 o'clock 20 minutes. So this Active Directory, I told you yesterday, whether you have 10 domain controllers or whether you have 2 domain controllers, every domain controller is identical. And I told you, if you create a user in DC01, the same copy will go and sit in the DC02. If you create the DC02 any object, the same will go and sit in the DC01. How it is happening? It is happening according to the timestamp. Imagine you create one object in the DC01 new user with the timestamp 8 o'clock 10 minutes. When the DC02 check for the update, it says a user created at 8 o'clock 10 minutes and username is Sanju. Then the DC02 what he will do? He will check its time. It is already 8:20. So he will tell that 8:10 is the post dated update. So I should not take it. Then he will not take the update because there is already 10 minutes of delays there. So he has already passed 10 minutes. So he will think that that may be a junk request, that may be a outdated request, and he will not take the latest updates. Okay, so that is the reason the timings in the entire forest or the entire domain should be same, and that is responsibility of the PDC. So if the PDC is down for some time also, you will have the issues. Okay, and then the next FSMO role is infrastructure master. The infrastructure master will have the cross domain object references. Means you have multiple domains. Say for example, in my previous case here, you have multiple domains. So you have a domain called google.com here, and one more called India, another called UK. If you see both the domains, the fully qualified domain name is india.google.com, uk.google.com. So imagine you create a user here, Sanju. He is the enterprise admin. So enterprise admin means he will have access to both google.com, india.com and uk.com. So what this that that person will, what he will do, the infrastructure master, what he will do, he will make sure the cross domain references. So Sanju has got access to google.com, india.com and uk.com, and what and all group he belongs to, that information will be stored, I mean that will be handled by the infrastructure master. Okay, so basically what it will do, the maintains the reference of objects in the other domain, the cross domain objects. So he knows that, Sanju knows that in India what and all departments are there, what and all users are there. Okay, in UK what and all groups are there, what and all users are there, what and all computer objects are there. So it will make sure Sanju is aware of it, and that responsibility is from the infrastructure master. Okay, and it ensures the updates of the group membership, the same I told you. Okay, say for example, Sanju has got access to India and UK, so that infrastructure master will know Sanju is part of domain admins in India, Sanju is part of domain admins in UK. The groups, the domain admin is a group, enterprise admin is a group. Okay, and the infrastructure master knows that Sanju is part of what and all groups, the group membership Sanju has got. Okay, so this is the relevance or importance of the infrastructure master. Okay, and out of all 5 FSM roles, the very important one is the PDC emulator. So PDC emulator is, once role is running, means your entire AD will work perfectly fine, until and unless there is no modification, there is no user created, there is no domain is updated, there is no schema is modified, there is no group membership is changed. Okay, so if you need any kind of change, then other domain controller will also useful. But if you are not creating anything, if you are just running your show, then PDC emulator is very important. Okay, that's about the theoretical portion of the FSMO. Okay, so now what we will do, I will take you to the lab. Okay, so I'll take you to the lab, and then I'll show you the how you can check the FSMO roles and how you can move FSMO role from one domain controller to another domain controller. I'll show you all the 5 FSMO roles. Okay, then I'll stop the video for now. I will make the lab video separately. Thank you.